we're going through the end of the tyrants, basically. The last waltz, they're done. They're imploding. These energies that are coming in, they're not frequency specific to what's happening, and they're not aligned with universal law. And their hearts aren't open. There's nothing, there's no love there. And they are dropping like flies. Their heart attacks, their karma is being accelerated. You know, they're being arrested, they're being shipped off, they're being tried. A lot of that is going on a very tense level. And so that's the physical stuff that you're seeing. That's the on the ground that you're seeing. But this is all orchestrated by these higher dimensions. So it's like the source itself, the Andromedans, the feline beings, the Orion Council of Light, the Pleiadians. I know I'm missing some groups, the Syrians, all these groups, they're all coming in. They're all pressing in with their consciousness and energy. They're bringing with them universal law. And everything that doesn't align with that is going to either transform or collapse. You know, there's no other option. So this is huge, what's happening. And now some people, you know, you tell this story and people are going, well, that's all a bunch of nonsense. That's not real. And they're right. It's not real for them because they haven't risen in consciousness. They haven't opened themselves up to this possibility. And so it isn't real for them, but it is real for those who are awake. And I'm not saying woke, I'm talking about awake, you know. And that's the woke thing is just another social engineering program. And again, these other guys, these low-level malevolent guys are doing everything they can to divide us, to separate us, to create a lot of fear, pain, suffering. They're creating all the division, the wars, the riots, all that stuff. They're feeding off of that energy, and that energy allows them to stay. And the more we unify and don't buy into that and start working together in service to the creator and all creation, they lose their power and they're losing their food source basically, and they're losing their ability to hold their dimension together, which is being hammered on right now. And it's on its way out basically. So that's why you're going to see some chaos. Understand that when the higher consciousness and energy comes in through sympathetic resonance, everything is going to have to rise to meet that higher consciousness and energy. And it's going to change shape, change form like semantics, you know. And then it'll all of a sudden, when the higher energy comes in, it'll start vibrating, you know, and it gets really shaky, and some things fall away and some things collapse. And then all of a sudden, boom, there's a whole new level of consciousness and energy and physical manifestations from that. So that's what we're having. So a lot of people ask me about what happens when you die, you know, what happens in the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is in the lower fourth dimension, if you have a consciousness, a very malevolent, if you're totally taking advantage of people, you've harmed a lot of people, and you're in service to self, you'll get stuck in the lower fourth dimension. You're not going anywhere. And you're going to incarnate and have to keep working that crap out until you're done with it. So your consciousness determines your frequency. Your frequency determines where you go when you cross this understanding. So it's so important right now to learn to forgive ourselves, forgive others, release the past, heal any wounds and traumas and wrong conclusions from past experiences, and raise our frequencies to get through these times. And I'll tell you a little secret that I'm sure we got some time here. We got a few minutes left. I'll tell you a little secret. Now, I've had 2 near-death experiences. I've studied for years with yogis and lamas. I've been researching for God knows how long. You know, I've studied with almost every culture, every elder, and I've heard their stories. I've done ceremonies. I've done all this stuff. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm just telling you where I'm coming from. I've crossed over. I went through the tunnel. I went to the golden plane of bliss after I crossed over in a drowning experience. And I saw all the levels and dimensions. I went through them. and then hung out there for a while. And I had a little conversation, and I met what some people call the creator. It's neither male nor female. It's just pure consciousness and energy. It's the most blissful energy you can ever imagine. It doesn't have an ego. It can't judge. It's beyond judgment. And when the masters say forgiveness is automatic, it's eternal, even Yeshua said that, I don't judge thee, nor does my Father judge thee, go and sin no more. What he's saying is that the Father, whatever you want to call it, the Father, Mother, God, the one consciousness, cannot judge. It's like the sun. It shines on everybody evenly and says, as you wish, that's what it does. And we create out of that energy whatever we want. We can hide from it. We can absorb a lot of it. We can absorb a little of it. We can express a little of it, or we can express a lot of it. And it's love and joy and bliss. And that's the ticket. Focus on love and joy and bliss until you become it. That's what the yogis and the lamas tell us. So